Hey everyone, I'm Kristen Gill with How To Hollywood, and I have celebrity makeup artist Jill Powell with me today.
Hi.
She has done every Demi Lovato look that everyone has ever loved.
Thank you.
Tell us about what you're going to be creating on me today.
So today I'm going to be showing you how to do one of our recent performance looks that I did on Demi for her new single, Sorry Not Sorry.
Baby, I'm sorry, I'm not sorry.
So how are we gonna start?
I always start with skin, so we got to moisturize and get your skin all prepped.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, so one of my secrets is I love moisture serums. What's great about these is your skin absorbs it, so you don't have a lot of product sitting on your face, so it makes the makeup last longer. So I like to massage it in, and this way you can also feel the texture of the face and anywhere that needs a little extra love. If you feel your skin, it's not too slippery, so your makeup will stick to it and it won't slide off. So Demi performs a lot, so I always want to make sure that her makeup stays on. So this is something for performance. I'll skip moisturizer and just do the moisture serums because you'll find that you'll be more glowy. And my thing is glowing skin. Because Demi performs a lot, we always need to make sure that the makeup stays, and if she sweats, I want to make sure that it's long lasting. So this is my secret weapon, and I go in with a brush and just a really sheer layer, that's all you need, right on top of your moisturizer. So I like to mix a lot of foundations. So you can see I have all different colors and all different actually textures as well. I like to create like a normal dimension on your face. So instead of doing one color all over, I create different dimensions. So I start with deeper tones on the forehead. This one's going to be too deep for her skin, so I'm mixing it with a little bit of a lighter color. And I'm going to start along the forehead. And by mixing, I can really create like the exact color that I want in each area. So I like the forehead to be a little bit darker because where the sun naturally hits is the high planes of your face. So keeping it a little bit lighter towards the center and blending it out. So now that I have her forehead done, you can see it's a little bit of a darker color. I will also take that deeper tone in the hollows of her cheek right here. So this kind of just adds a base to the contour. So now that we have created the contours, I'm gonna go in the lower part of the face, just on the outsides, matching her skin tone along the chin, and then a little bit lighter underneath her contour area. So just with foundation, I'm creating all these natural dimensions so that you don't have to do a ton with other products. These are the concealers. They look really smooth. They have a tiny bit of luminosity, and I don't like to look dry under the eyes. When I do under the eyes, I personally like to, so this one's gonna be your lighter one, which is probably gonna match your tone, but I also like to mix in more of like a peachy tone because I find that peach really corrects. So if you have a lot of darkness, if you think of color theory, so yellow and blue make green. So if you have a lot of blues under your eyes and you put a yellow concealer, you might get more of that like greenish gray cast. And it's not really covering. But you want to like counteract that. So the opposite of blue is orange. So that's gonna, if you lay orange on top of blue, it neutralizes. So a peach is a mixture between pink and orange and yellow. So it's actually combating your blue, your green, and your purple, which are the colors underneath your eyes. So start with my lighter tone, and then I just mix a tiny bit of peach. And you had, it's already covered, but you had a tiny bit of discoloration right here. So I'm gonna just go ahead and add some of that peach there. And again, I'm pressing it. I like to use more of like a flat brush, but not completely flat. So this one has a tiny fluff to it. And I just press it in. And then I'm gonna go in with that lighter tone right on these inner corners. And a lot of times on ourselves, we forget that this inner corner is really important. So I see a lot of people and they leave it blank. That's what opens up the eye. So we wanna make sure that that's nice and bright. And I'm pressing and kind of sweeping. So this is by Nars, and it has two really great contour colors and some beautiful highlights. And when I contour, I like it to just be really natural. So I'm gonna start out, I like to use more of like an angled blush brush. For me, this really like hugs the contours of the face. At home, I want you to like feel for where your cheekbone is and understand the anatomy of your face and where it is. A lot of people, it'd be the center of the ear, kind of heading down towards the corner of the mouth. That's usually the general vicinity. You don't need a lot of contouring because you have a really svelte face. so we're just gonna add a tiny bit. And I'm doing a very light sweeping touch. So I'm gonna take a warmer shade and just kind of warm up the contour. We did a cooler shade first to kind of create that dimension and that shadow, and then the warmer shade just to blend it out. We're gonna go into her brows. So I always start by brushing upwards. It kind of shows you the shape of the brow, what you're working with, and what you need to enhance. So I am an old school primer eye person.
Yeah.
So anything that just makes the shadows stick, because I like to do makeup once and have it be stuck there all day.
All day,
and
yeah.
You don't have to worry about it. So when I prime, I use just a flat brush, get a tiny bit of product, and then I start at the lash line, and then I sweep it up. So again, what this does is it usually makes the shadows stick, the colors come out stronger, and then again, you don't need to touch up. It helps with blending too and fallout, I find. But these are all matte tones. For me, I love matte tones that can really create dimension on the eye. So I usually start with this and then build the color, build the shimmer in there. And then for my accent colors, we are going to use this palette. It's got some matte, some shimmer, and then our favorite little blue.
Yes.
So I always start with a crease. I find that creating dimension in the eye, it just really helps me to place things. So keeping your eyes open, you want to find where your brow bone is. So yours is right here. So you've got beautiful predominant brow bone. Some people might have a little more crepiness on their eyes, or you might not be able to see it depending on the texture and just the anatomy of their eye.
Yeah.
So I want you to feel for it. So you can always stick a brush in, and right underneath this brow bone, that's where your crease is. So taking a color that's a little bit warm, which means it has more of that like peachy tone to it, I would say. So placing it right under that brow bone, a little bit of back and forth, a little bit of circular motions. This is just going to create that nice diffused effect. So next I'm going to do a brow highlight, and I do like to mix. So again, a warmer shade with a tiny pop, and we're just going to go right, hit that arch first, and then sweep it out and sweep it in. For the lid, I did want it to stand out a little bit, so we added a tiny bit of shimmer, but keeping it really natural still. So as you see, I press a little bit on, I tap any excess off, and then I like to turn the brush upside down. This kind of catches the fallout so that you don't have the product falling all over your cheeks. And I sweep upwards, and then it goes right back into the brush. Like, look how pretty that is. Oh, I love it. Anytime there's a focal point on a look, I like to get that on there before I finish things. So what we did is I'm gonna start out, this is Makeup Forever liner. So just like a dark kind of blue, actually matches your dress perfectly, look at that. So this is a waterproof liner. You can go ahead and look up for me. And when I do the waterline, I kind of just press down on the eye a tiny bit. Because she was performing, I want it to be a little exaggerated. And then we're gonna go underneath. So with a really tiny brush, I'm gonna take the blue shadow, pick it up, and then I'm just gonna press it on, press and wiggle. So you can see the difference. This one's a lot stronger because of the shadow, and then this one has the liner, so now we're gonna make that pop. So that's why I did the double layer. So now she has the focal point. People always ask me about lashes. So there's a lot of tricks you can do with lashes. My favorite tip is I don't ever apply a full strip anymore. So I take my lash and I cut it up.
Wow.
So I'm a 3-knot girl. So I like 3 knots, 3 knots, 3 knots. It bends with your eye, so you will notice when you're wearing them, they're not as heavy. The inside doesn't bother you.
Yeah.
And you can really, sometimes I'll even take a lash and place the like this one's longer on the outside. Sometimes I'll put that right in the center.
Ooh.
And so I'll create my own lash.
Your own lash, yeah.
Last couple steps, so we're gonna add a tiny bit of highlight on the inner corner. It's actually a face highlighter, but it's the most beautiful inner corner highlight. I'm also gonna add the same one just to the tops of her cheekbones. You can also take a tiny bit down the bridge of the nose, and then I'm gonna apply a little bit to her Cupid's bow, and this is just a smaller blending brush. And then last but not least, because the eyes were so strong, we wanted to keep the lip a little bit more natural. It's the most beautiful, like, It's a pink with a gold, so it almost reads a little peachy.
Okay.
So for your cheeks, I'm gonna do kind of more orange tones. There you have it.
Ooh,
What do you think?
I love it. Tell us how you got started in makeup.
I got started in makeup quite a long time ago, but my first real makeup job was at MAC Cosmetics. I think it was like 2001 maybe.
Yeah.
I'm dating myself.
No.
But that was my big start.
How did you meet Demi?
I met Demi almost 6 years ago. My agent booked me. That was actually my first client that she ever booked me with. And
Wow.
she said, "Can you fly to New York?" And I said, "Sure." And she said, "Can you do this girl Demi?" And I said, "Sure." And I did her, and we did this amazing red lip, and she
Yeah.
loved it. And then she was like, "Are you available tomorrow?" I said, "Sure." And the rest is history.
What has been her craziest ask of you?
We definitely did some crazy looks during X Factor. We were shooting 5 days a week, and
Oh, yeah.
she had some cool outfits. So a lot of times it was just playing around with the different outfits. One time there was this yellow eyeshadow look. There was another one that was, we did this really crazy like hairstyle that was like this donut roll thing, and we did a really cool winged liner, and literally right before we got up to go shoot, she was like, "I want it thicker," and drew it in. I was like, "All right, we're doing it thicker." So we did this really thick, and it was a crazy winged liner, and it got a lot of press, and you know, it is what it is. Sometimes you just kind of go with the flow.
Yeah,
So.
it's really a collaboration then.
It
with the two of
totally
you.
is, yeah.
So what has been a highlight working with Demi?
I think the biggest highlight, I mean, she's an amazing musician. So half the time my job is to do her makeup and then go to a concert. So I can't complain.
You've worked with her for a really long time. How has her look evolved from when you started until now?
We've definitely evolved her look. Her eyebrows have evolved a lot, from thinner to thicker, thinner, and now I think we're at a really good place. Her and I trust each other a lot. So like recently, her recent album cover was a really great breakthrough. We did pretty much no makeup. And,
Yeah, you're telling
you know,
me that.
Yeah, and all of her freckles showed, and it was just really raw and vulnerable, and it was really amazing.
It's beautiful. Can we expect a Jill Powell makeup line possibly in the future?
I would hope so. Would you guys buy it?
Yes, oh my gosh. So you
Hopefully
should.
someday.
Yeah,
It's,
well-
it's in here. It just needs to actually be produced. so.
Definitely. Well, Jill, I just wanted to thank you so much for being here today with How to Hollywood.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's been fun.
So if you guys have any extra questions for Jill, please leave them in the comments down below, and she
right
will
there.
answer them, or I'll shoot them her way if she hasn't seen them. And make sure to subscribe to Entertainment Tonight's YouTube channel, and I'll see you in the next one.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Baby, I'm the baddest. You f***ing with a savage. Can't have this, can't have this.